This episode of Juicy Scoop is sponsored by RHO. So you're ready to lose an average of 15% of your weight faster? Meet the latest offering through RHO. Go to rho.co/juicyscoop to see if you qualify. That's ro.co/juicyscoop. Go to rho.co/safety for boxed warnings and full safety information about GLP-1's medication. 15% weight loss is based on a study in non-diabetics with obesity or with overweight with a weight-related condition on 5 milligrams of medication when paired with diet and exercise. Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have one of your return favorites. He is such a delight. He's a powerhouse in the reality world. He has his own podcast, his own production company. Carlos King, welcome back to Juicy Scoop.
I'm back. I'm not the white girl in Poltergeist. I'm back, and I'm staring at the screen looking at my beautiful doll, Heather McDonald.
And I just said before we started, I go, so great that you're here. There's nothing better than a God-fearing gay.
That's my new hashtag.
I love it because you're very spiritual.
Very.
And you're very gay. And I like that combo. Who says you can't be both in 2025?
Am I more spiritual or more gay?
I think it's an equal, and I love it.
Too.
I think I love it. No,
yes.
you give very inspirational things.
Thank you.
Along with the gossip, a lot of how to improve your life.
I make gossiping, God-fearing gay.
Yes.
There you go. How about that?
I love it. I love it. Welcome to New Year. So much to get into. We're going to talk lots about the Bravo world, but the story that I was just, how can I say? I think this story I could not be less surprised by, and that's Jennifer Aydin of Real Housewives of New Jersey, not only going off on the people making the beautiful Jersey Mikes. Listen, raising two boys, Jersey Mikes has been a big part of our diet. I love Jersey Mikes. They're wonderful sandwiches with top quality ingredients. But let me tell you what happened. Jennifer Aydin has been on Real Housewives of New Jersey for probably 4 or 5 seasons?
Maybe a while, maybe 5 or 6. It's been a while. It's been a while.
And she is a mother of 5. She is, is she Armenian?
Yes.
Okay, she's Armenian. She has a successful plastic surgeon husband. And she's very about, like a housewife, but very into the blings and the fashions and all that. And best friends with Teresa Giudice, who's the star of the show. And she and her friend and their kids they 7 a.m. They're at the airport. They go, we need some food. And she's filming it as she's walking. We are hungry. What do I want? We're going to the Bahamas or something. And she's in the line for Jersey Mike's as the people are making sandwiches. And she filmed all this and posted it. And she starts to get in a fight with this guy about something. And she's like, you're an asshole, you're an asshole, you're an asshole. And he's like, and then she's, arguing with the people wanting to make. Then she takes the phone and she complains saying, this woman who was working behind the counter, this 80-year-old woman, when I wanted to add another sandwich, she's like, you're going to have to get back in line. Why should I get back in line? All this other stuff. You're 80. Why are you even working here? And then this guy said me to my fake diamonds. I'm like, honey, this is real diamonds. My husband's a plastic surgeon. Oh, and she also, she was in line with everybody and filming all these people that are just waiting in line like everyone else. She's screaming, I'm a celebrity. I'm a celebrity.
Get me out of here.
So she puts it all out there.
Yeah.
And thank you to the gods that follow this stuff and caught it and downloaded it and it had shared it to the world, because probably, I don't know how long after she posted all the stories about it, for how long, they were up before she realized someone called her and was like, take it down.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw this, like I said, and the other thing that I found out, and forgive me to the guy that I follow that made a TikTok about this, that was the most disturbing part of the story, because she's taking her sandwich, she's getting on a plane, right?
Yes.
It was a tuna fish sandwich.
Who eats tuna fish at 7 a.m.?
And then brings that smelly shit on a plane? Like, that just also tells you, if you didn't think she was an entitled bitch already that didn't care about other people's feelings or nostrils, that's who she is.
Because the thing is, when you eat a tuna sandwich, it has to come out in other areas.
Oh, and it's wafting
the gas.
smell and the everything about it. And I'm like, when I say I'm not surprised is because, like, you know, the housewives are wealthy. They're about fashion. They're all of this. And you'd say most are probably on the narcissistic thing or vain or whatever. But, like, if you found out, like, Kyle Richards did this, we would be shocked.
For sure.
Shocked. Like, there's so many housewives that you and I know and stuff that are these divas, but you'd be like, holy fuck, I can't believe this person acts like this.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, this is her. This is who she's always been. She's shown this over and over and over again. And, you know, she's not like this super likable character to me. I interviewed, she was fine. She was funny a few years ago, whatever. She, you know, did do fun impressions of the other people. But I don't feel like there's Jennifer Aydin stans the way they are for Teresa, for other people, for an Erica Jane, you know, for people that just kind of have a little more going for them and their personality and whatnot. Yeah. And so one of the things is you're supposed to go on a cruise with Dolores and Teresa, wives by the sea or something.
Sounds with the waves.
Yes. Sounds like a nightmare, honestly, for the wives. Like I love everybody that is going on this cruise, and I'm not being mean to the Bravo, but like, I mean, this is them being like,
you're stuck.
Yeah, we're stuck. It's a money grab. But the three of us will handle it, you know, whatever. And we've got to make our money because who knows? We still don't know if the show's coming back, correct?
It's not coming back until 2026.
Are they waiting for the girl from, are they waiting for Jen Shaw to get out of Rikers and join that cast? What are they waiting for so long?
It's not
What's
coming.
the scoop?
So, Andy Cohen revealed recently that it's not returning until 2026, and we're just in the start of 2025. Jersey is going through an entire makeover. We don't know, Heather, exactly what that makeover is going to look like. I strongly believe it's not going to be a reboot a la The Real Housewives of
New York
City. Sorry. It's not going to be to that degree, but they're figuring things out, right? I think we all know, and listen, I love Jennifer Aydin. I met her too. She's a fun girl. I think we all know that Jennifer Aydin is not coming back.
But I think she would have maybe had this not happened. Oh, you don't think she would have anyway? This just sealed the deal.
I don't think it was happening even prior to. I just don't think it was happening at all.
I just think when someone does something like this, it really shows you who they are. There's things that people fuck up that are somewhat cancelable, you know, situations. And it was because they were drunk or it was whatever. They can go immediately sign up for rehab the next day. You can't she wasn't drunk. She had her hair and makeup done. She was lucid. There's no excuse. Her kid wasn't crying. Like there's nothing to it except that you are an entitled bitch. You are already entitled. And then we made you a star. And that just made you a worse person than you probably were before. And you're not necessary anyway. So that is done. I think she's done. I don't even think they're going to want her for Traitors or anything.
House of Villains.
I mean, maybe if they get desperate, whatever. But maybe House of Villains and she'll have to defend the Jersey Mikes. And then somebody comes and brings a big, long thing of Jersey Mike. But do you remember, this is a long time ago, pop culture story. And this was like before TikToks, before people could do reels, but there was social media. There was this pretty girl who was like a rising star at like ESPN or something. And she went to retrieve her car that was towed from a tow truck place. And she was blonde and cute. And I don't know her name, but she was horrible to the woman working behind the desk. And the thing caught it, you know, because they had the videos there.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, you don't know who I am and I'm rich and you're a loser for working here. The story was like, and that was it. Like she disappeared.
Did she get fired?
Oh yeah. We've never heard from her since. If somebody knows who she is, I would love to talk to her today. Hopefully she's living a good life and has an interesting story of what the backlash is like after something like this. Something tells me Jennifer Aydin went on to have like a really great vacation with her family so the haters can go fuck off. Like I can just see it like I don't even think she cares.
I don't think she cares either. I don't think she cares either. Listen, what we loved about Jennifer Aydin on the show was the fact that she was over the top. She is this bougie diva.
Yeah.
And these are all things that is interesting in a reality star, especially when you're on Housewives. I think the issue is when that translates in real life as you're interfacing with employees working to service you. I love Jennifer Aydin, but I will admit I was very disappointed in seeing that because, number one, you can't talk to people that way. And number two, to disrespect people who are in the business of customer service at a restaurant, at an airport at 7 a.m.
During the holiday, and it was New Year's Day. So did those people get to have a fun New Year's Eve? No, they had to be there at 6 a.m. so they could make your fucking sandwich. Like, it was just so wrong on like 25 levels. And then to say this woman was like 80, what 80-year-old has to still work at this place? I mean, everything about it. And what's wonderful is there's been the daughter of that woman, who was not 80, by the way, started like a GoFundMe for her.
She did?
Yeah, and all this. And so it's like there's good that's going to come out of it. It's just not going to be good for Jennifer Aydin. It's just not, and too bad. Like, who cares?
So is it confirmed that she was kicked off the cruise with Dolores and Teresa?
The cruise is confirmed. Yes. Because now they sent out a thing saying Teresa and Dolores and surprise new, housewife to join. And before it was the three of them, they talked about it on a podcast. So she's definitely not going on the cruise. And I'm sure the minute this happened, they got probably at least 50 emails from people being like, this bitch better not be on the cruise. And they knew about it. So now we're gonna guess who's gonna be the third housewife that goes on this cruise. Jersey
or another city?
I don't think it has to be Jersey. I don't think it will be Jersey because I don't think Teresa's friends with anybody else.
Right.
It's not going to be Melissa. It's not going to be Margaret Josephs. It's not going to... Okay, so my guess, prediction, Dorinda.
Oh, great one. Yes, 100%.
She is down for everything. She is like, she's doing like spin classes with gays for like $12 a ticket. Like, she will be at every city winery, loft. Like, she is like, there is no way she's not going to be like packing her bags to be on the cruise. Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
It's going to be the cruise manor. Bluestone's going to be, yes, I can totally see that.
But I'll give you one chance to beat me. So guess anybody else, and then
Dorinda the only other one is New York. I would say Sonya or Luann. I think it's one of those two. I think Luann will sing a cabaret on the cruise. I can see that.
I think she's too good for it. She makes too much money on her own. I don't think she's going to be, I don't think, well, darling, I'm in the UK. I can't be going, honey, I have my own yacht. We got the yacht. I'm not going to show up on a yacht with 500 people, 5,000 people. No, it's not going to be Luann. But I'll give you Sonya could do it.
Yeah, I can see Sonya doing it.
Yeah. I don't know that they're going to pick anybody else from like, I'm like, who I'd like to see? Caroline Manzo and Brandi Glanville. Yeah! Give them the drink tickets. Give them the drink package. And let's go. Let's have a remake. Let's have a finger session.
Heather McDonald!
On the cruise.
Oh, my Lord Jesus. Too soon.
No, it's not too soon. I love you. I have been requested by my good friend Brandy Howard to start a class action lawsuit on behalf of all the Bravo viewers, demanding that we have suffered by not seeing the ultimate girls trip go to Morocco. And if you feel like you have been harmed by being teased this story for 2 years and not being able to see Brandy get drunk and sloppy with her tampon string hanging out of her vagina as she gropes grandmother Caroline Manzo to the non-reaction of Gretchen, Vicky, Eva, and Alex McCord, who said everything was fine, then you can be part of my lawsuit at the Heather McDonald Law Firm. I'm going to get my sister, who is a real attorney, and we are going to get everybody at least 6 to 7 cents.
Okay. To buy a Jersey Mike sub.
Yes, to put it towards going to a Jersey Mike sub, and because, this is the unknown. This is like, they're going to open that vault. Remember when they opened that vault with, what's his name? There was like a oh my God, it was like this gangster. It was Geraldo opened a vault when we were really young kids. And then there was nothing in it. Like 25 years from now, they're like, we are going to give you guys. Or when Bravo's about to go bankrupt, they'll be like, okay, we're doing a streamer. Everyone has to pay $50 to watch the ultimate girls trip. And people will. People will. How much?
I'll watch it.
I would pay.
I would pay a
I'd pay
fee.
so much. I would pay so much. That's what they should do. They should do pay-per-view, old school pay-per-view.
Watch it in real time like a boxing match.
Yes. And you can get all the episodes real-time pay-per-view.
Genius.
You're welcome, Andy. You know who I am, girl.
Good idea, because I want to watch it.
Yeah.
I do want to see it. Do you think we'll ever see it?
I think we'll see it like in that capacity. Like there'll be something weird, some special thing. But no, if I had to bet real money, no, we will never, ever, ever see it. Ever. We are all looking for a fresh start this time of year, from eating better to losing weight. And we have some habits that we want to stop, maybe good ones to start. Well, it's time to give your finances a huge fresh start. Make this the year you start to get out of debt and stop being crushed by it. And the first step is to contact PDS Debt for a personalized debt solution. If you're making payments every month on your debt and your balances aren't going down, PDS has solutions for you. Everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies, and there is no minimum credit score required. Bad and fair credit accepted. Save more while paying off your debt in a fraction of the time. Make sure this year you take control of your debt. Get a free debt analysis right now at pdsdebt.com/juicyscoop. It only takes 30 seconds. That's pdsdebt.com/juicyscoop. pdsdebt.com/juicyscoop. Everyone has New Year's resolutions, and the hardest part is keeping them. Well, one of the most popular ones is saving money. Clearly, a lot of Americans want to do that. And we sometimes just feel like the money is slipping through our fingers, but it's not your fault. The whole world is trying to spend your money. And there's streaming apps and delivery fees and tips on self-checkout machines. And the list goes on and on. Good thing there's Acorns. Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing so your money has a chance to grow for you, your kids, and your retirement. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that fits you and your money goals. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you invest with the spare money you've got right now. You can start with $5 or even just your spare change. You don't need a ton of time. You can create your Acorns account and start investing in just 5 minutes. Basically, Acorns does the hard part so you can give your money a chance to grow. Head to acorns.com/juicyscoop or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today.
Paid non-client endorsement compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/juicyscoop.
And I don't know if I ever asked you. I've talked ad nauseum of what I think happened, which is Caroline spoke too much about the Dina Manzo case involving her ex-husband and Caroline's brother-in-law and that whole mess. And then the thing happened with Brandy, which maybe she didn't like, but whatever. And then the next day kind of freaked out about it and then went home and then realized, yeah, this bothered me, but a benefit of this would be that no one sees this show if I bring up this lawsuit. That is my opinion what happened.
You think, okay.
I don't think if she, that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
what do you think?
No, so I think, well, listen, from my understanding, it was an immediate reaction to it that happened like moments thereafter.
Because the other girls have said no.
Well, from again, the thing is this, nobody has ever said anything to me, but from what I've read and obviously Brandy has talked about it and we've seen things, what was said amongst the chatter was that the other girls allegedly did not feel like it was such a big deal. Girls being girls, or in this case, Brandy allegedly being Brandy.
Yeah.
But on the receiving end, they were saying how Caroline felt very uncomfortable about it. So again, I think it's one of those things where, listen, me and you hung out, you know what I mean? And you wanted to make out with me, I'm fine with it. But it doesn't mean somebody else is. And that's what it sort of appeared to me. But I did hear it happen moments, like the sort of like concern.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll never know. We'll never know.
Unless it's a pay-per-view.
Yes. Unless there's a pay-per-view.
HeatherMcDonald.net.
Yes. Now, I thought of a horrible thought. So I have a legal question for you as a TV producer.
Go ahead.
You know how when someone passes, then you can like write about them in a book because they're dead. And no, the estate can't come after you, whatever. Does that apply at all to a reality thing? Like, could you have more freedom with your footage of someone if they are no longer on this earth?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question because if you think about it, I'm trying to think like who passed away and they still like, that's a really good question. I don't know.
I feel like the Michael Jackson stuff didn't come out till after he was dead, like the Leaving Neverland and stuff. There was like a little more like freedom of like
because there's somebody to sue you.
No one can come
Maybe
back
the
for
estate.
defamation, but they really can't. You know, I mean, I think they've tried, but I always understand like you can't sue a dead man is the thing.
Correct.
So or dead man can't sue you or whatever it is. So I just kind of was wondering about that. Like
that's a good question.
I don't know. So there you go with that. Paige and Craig of Southern Charm and Summer House. She was on Summer House. Paige met Craig, who's been on Southern Charm from the beginning, 15 years. We've really seen him, quite honestly, bulk up. I saw an old video of him, and he was like really looked so young and skinny and like completely different. I love a male glow up.
Me too.
Like sometimes they really do get like just like a bigger face, like their jaws grow. You know, everyone thought Matt Rife, and I did too, maybe got like work done, and I'm like, maybe he didn't. Maybe some guys do really kind of like grow up in like their mid to late 20s.
Absolutely, get more distinguished looking.
Yeah, like a little more jawline.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, he's so cute. I've met him. He is
How is he in person?
Oh my God. The first time, it was BravoCon 1. And do you remember the first BravoCon? Did you go? Okay, so
we had our show in New York that weekend. Yeah.
But what I liked about it is it was the first one. No one knew what to expect. And everyone thought it was awful that you had to go to 3 different places. I liked it. So they had the show in the one theater, and then you walk down the street, and then there was like all the vendors, all the housewives and people selling their stuff, and there was like the cool dresses hanging up, like the little museum thing. And then there was some other place that you could go to, and so I thought it was kind of fun, like going to those different things. But anyway, so I was at one of them, I'm walking by, and he was like, Heather. I never met him.
He's a juicy scooper.
And he gave me the cute sewing hat that has the light blue patch on it. And, you know, he's a tall, dark-haired delight. And he was genuinely so cute. And then last year, I went and talked to him and Paige, who were so cute. And I, know Hannah, who's Paige's good friend and co-host and all that. Hannah Burner. And so I was like, I got to have you on. And I'm joking. I'm like, let's just rip on Hannah, like, whatever. And he was like, so cute. I'm like, you're such a fashionista. She's like, oh, thank you. And so they were so cute. But people were like, what's going on? Like, they've been dating 3 years. They live in 2 different places. Are they getting married? But you never see them fight on the show. You always see them have like a great, fun rapport. And it was announced over the holiday that they did, in fact, break up. And he just spoke today. I just saw this on my phone today.
I didn't see it.
And Bravo Breaking News picked it up from his Instagram. And he was just lovely about it.
What did he say?
He's heartbroken and shocked.
Wait, did she dump him?
She dumped him. And
Why?
we don't know why, but he was like so lovely about it. He just goes, I'm totally shocked. It was before, right before the holidays. And people were starting to put this together because someone had got a cameo for the mom. And it was right before Christmas. And he was, mentioning Paige and this and that. So, because there was rumors that, they had broken up months ago and they were playing along and they were going to do a fake engagement. And there's been all these stories. And no, I mean, I think, in my opinion, let me finish what he said. So he goes, hey, you guys have been sweet and thank you for the advice and everything. And he's like, no, I'm heartbroken. I'm really sad. But, because I lost my best friend and it's really hard to go from talking to your friend every day to just not. And he's like, but it takes 2 to be in a relationship and there's nothing I can do about it. And,
girl.
And that's that. Like that's
He's not going to be single long.
No way.
That's a good way of responding.
Yeah, and he just goes, and the only way I can get through this is you can't change somebody or make them feel a certain way. The only way I can do is, control how I, react and accept. And it was great. Nothing mean. And I think with her,
Yeah, what happened?
I think people have great relationships that just don't last forever. I think this was a healthy, beautiful, fun relationship. She just didn't want to marry him. And I think she knew it was headed. Maybe she got word that there was a ring being bought and she wanted, this is just me, and she wanted to be as respectful and say it before it happened.
Yeah.
And I think that right now in her career and her age, and, she's got her hands in so many, she's this delightful, funny, likable person, which is a great career, but then also because she has such an eye for fashion. I just think there's a lot of opportunity for her. She's only 32 and she just doesn't want to get married now. Maybe you never, I have had friends that have ended engagement at 32 thinking and then they have a lot of fun, 33, 34, 35, 36. And then about 37, they're like,
Girl.
fuck. And I actually had a friend and was like, I should have married that guy. I'd be divorced, but I'd be divorced with a 4-year-old. She said that. She goes, at least I'd be divorced with a 4-year-old and a house in the Hamptons.
Such is life.
So that same girl went on to get married and has a wonderful life now to someone else, and doesn't have the kid, doesn't have the trauma of divorce. You coulda, woulda, shoulda. You can't say it.
Yeah.
But I think that she just wasn't feeling it. We all have friends that, sometimes they get divorced a few years ago, and I go, when did you know? And they're like, the night before. I mean,
the night before the wedding.
Yeah, like Kim Kardashian, when she married Chris Humphries.
Yeah.
Oh, there was talk like the night before of like
backing out.
Of Chris being like, you don't have to do this. Like this is not, nobody was like doing it for the show, and then it's like, no, because you're the bride, and it's really hard. So I think she was smart enough to know I could still go on another year, but he probably won't without an engagement. And I don't want to get married, get divorced. I don't want the world to see the engagement break. So I think she has had a really hard time with it too. But him confirming that it was her, people probably don't think that. But I think it's, I think it is. I think they had a beautiful relationship for 3 years, and that's the end of it. And they're both going to find other people.
Yeah.
And they're both being really smart about it with the public. And they're both so likable.
Well, I was going to say,
there's no villain,
There's no villain. And listen, he's such a dreamy looking human. And the fact that he's so nice, I sometimes do wonder this. At 32, do you really want the nice guy? Do you know what I mean? Like, to your point.
For Paige, you mean?
For Paige. Like,
was
he too much of a nice guy?
Yeah.
He's the guy you marry at 36. So to your point, I actually agree with you 100%. He's so, because look, he's dreamy. He's nice. He has a job. He adores you. He loves upon you. And listen, we don't know everything, but it's a little strange.
Or, there are times in my life where I, in my age and wisdom, there are things I'll say now that I wouldn't say, like to other, like off the, I'll be like, you know what? Choose the smaller place in the better neighborhood. Be around the eclectic, smart people that are in your business. And if it means your kid doesn't have a yard, be in such a nice neighborhood that they go to the good public school and there's a nice community, or you're behind gates and you can use a community pool.
Yeah.
That's my advice now. Years ago, I would have been like, no, go to that other community where you can have your big backyard and your barbecue, but you're around like people. Like there's things that I changed my mind about. So there's times where I've been like, oh my God, you have this one little unit of time as a woman that I feel like that's the time to like really kind of snag the best guy. And I think she's in that. And I think she wants, sometimes when you date too long without engagement, the passion sort of weighs. And I also think, she's in New York. There's a chance that she can get somebody that is more compatible. That's looking for a guy in finance, 6'5", trust fund. Like she could find someone like that. and she is the only star in the family. And she's the only one that you need to deal with reality shows. And it's money, and it's nothing she doesn't need to worry about if, his star continues or if the show the Bravo things continues. Like, she could do her own thing with her podcast and her fashion and be with somebody else. And I'm not saying she's replacing him for this like ghost-like person that's out there that, could be a cheating and an asshole and a whatever. But I don't know. Like, I could see her ending up with someone that's not in the industry at all, but like a power player. Like, I feel like everybody is like, I'd like to Lauren Sanchez this shit.
Baby, she's on my vision board, by the way.
She's on everyone's vision board.
Because the thing is this, shout out to Jeff. He did not get like some young woman fresh out of college.
They don't want that. They want...
But they did back in the day.
They don't. You know what I realized? Jill Zarin's boyfriend, Gary, told me this.
What did he say?
He said a billionaire wants another billionaire's wife. They want like remember how Yolanda, David Foster's like, who's that? When he was at Muhammad's house, and Muhammad's like, that's my ex-wife, and he's like, that's that girl I want, and it didn't last. But like, I think sometimes they want that. Well, for one thing, that relationship was an infidelity thing. They were all friends. Remember that? Jeff Bezos and his wife were friends with Lauren and her husband. You don't know this?
No.
How do you not know this? Welcome to Juicy
Tell
Scoop.
me the tea, girl.
Welcome to Juicy Scoop History 101.
Give me the scoop.
Apparently, Carlos missed the first week of classes. Okay, so Lauren Sanchez was married to a big agent at William Morris, and the four of them were social friends. And it all broke out, and I thought it was so interesting because, like, Amazon Prime was just becoming something, and I think there were lots of deals at William Morris and whatnot. But it was, they fell in love while he was still married to the wife. And it was like, wow, but they got divorced. She has kids with him. She has her oldest son is with this like hot black football player that she had before. I think she was married to him.
What?
Yes. So she's got like a 30-year-old. Then she has like teenage boys with the white agent. And now she's with the richest nerd in the world. Someone doesn't have a type.
Lauren, I'm obsessed with you even more, babe.
And she's a pilot of helicopters.
Yes, I knew that. And she's a children's book author.
But she was like a hostess and all this,
yes,
like a host of shows and anchors and all that. But no, so then that happened and it was quite scandalous. But now, like, they're all cool. Like, I think she's cool with his kids. I think his ex-wife is cool. The ex-husband, he's got some nice girlfriend. I think there's even been times where they've maybe done some stuff together, like, because the agent's like, I'll fucking go on your yacht. I don't like. I mean, I always say to my husband, if you're gonna cheat on me or leave me for anyone, please leave me for a billionaire who has a plane. Take the boys to all the golf courses in all of the world. Like elevate the life of my children. If you're going to cheat on me, like elevate the life of my children. And I think some guys should feel that way too. Like if you're going to lose, like get rid of your ego. If you're going to get, like, I think it's way worse if your girl is like, fucking the pool boy. I think that's way
downgrade.
worse.
No.
Yeah, like at least get somebody that either way. So, so we'll see what happens with them. But
so Paige, get with a rich financier on Wall Street.
Yeah.
Because, honey, this is not going to be on the market for too long.
Like a Sophia Richie, she broke up with Scott Disick, father of three, and got with this rich guy from a rich family and just elevated that life.
And disappeared.
And more age appropriate for her and all of that. So it's like, yeah, you imagine how Lionel Richie was like, hello? What are we supposed to do? Why is our 17-year-old daughter with this 38-year-old divorced dad of three? Like, what are we doing? And then, but sometimes you just have to be there. You have to hang around your kid. You can't be like, you're out of my life. You just have to be patient.
Yeah.
Hope that they break up.
Yeah. Those girls did it right. Yes. The
Yeah,
Richie girls.
Sophia
Yes.
Richie doing it right.
And Lauren, if you would like to appear on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you have my vote.
I mean,
Girl.
at least just show up for something. Just come to something.
She's friends with all of the girls, including like Chris and Kim. And
I mean, we're never going to get to see. Well, you know what? Jeff Bezos seems to have gotten thirsty since he started taking the HGC. What is that? That makes you a little bulk up. You know, he's buffed out. He's had a glow up.
No, he has had a glow up physically.
So he might want to show up to something.
I
mean, the thing about them, they're so big, there's nothing to hide. So they could go on it. It's the $500 million, person living in Bel Air that's going to say no to their wife being on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because they don't want all their business out there.
No.
But we know what Bezos pays in taxes and blah 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 blah. So, all right, let's envision you guys, everybody. We're putting Lauren and Jeff Bezos on our vision board.
Yes.
For Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We all want to sleep better this year. And maybe you've tried. Maybe you've put the phone away. Maybe you've kicked the pets out of your bed. But the way to do it is to get Boll and Branch luxurious 100% cotton sheets. You guys, you will fall asleep faster. There is nothing like this buttery, breathable comfort. I absolutely love it. And you will discover the difference with Boll and Branch 30-night guarantee. This is so important, and we spend time in our bed. It's the best time of the day. It's a third of your life. So get these sheets and change your life. You deserve it. This one-time upgrade brings years of better sleep wrapped in the most luxurious feeling imaginable. So no matter what kind of day you've had, you get to go to instant relaxation. And they even get softer with every wash, which is amazing, and I can attest to. These are the softest sheets I've ever felt, and I just cannot wait to get in my bed every day. Now's your chance to change the way you sleep with Boll and Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com/juicyscoop. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/juicyscoop to save 15%. Exclusions apply. See site for details. If you're like me, you want to start eating better and healthier, and part of that is really making your own food at home. That is why I love Hungry Root. Hungry Root is like having a personal nutritionalist. They take care of the stressful meal planning each week by recommending delicious recipes tailored to your tastes, nutrition preferences, and health goals. They make it so easy to eat high-quality, nutritious food and achieve any diet or health goals by tailoring recipes to a variety of lifestyles, from anti-inflammatory to gut-friendly, gluten-free, or dairy-free. Whatever it is, planning meals and cooking really can be simple and stress-free. I love that I get this fabulous chicken that's all marinated, ready to go. All I have to do is just stick it in the oven, and then I can make my own healthy wraps with arugula and little tomatoes. All of that was such an easy recipe. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as I do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/juicyscoop and use code JuicyScoop. That's hungryroot.com/juicyscoop, code JuicyScoop, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/juicyscoop, code JuicyScoop. This episode of Juicy Scoop is sponsored by RHO. You guys, this is so great. I know it's a new year, but it's time to become the new you. So you're ready to lose an average of 15% of your weight faster? Meet the latest offering through RHO. RHO now offers FDA-approved weight loss vials for half the list price of auto-injector pens, without applying insurance or saving cards, and with results that you can see faster. I know I have friends that have been dealing with this for a couple years, and they are so excited to get on this deal with RHO because it's so easy and it's at such a great price. Go to rho.co/juicyscoop to see if you qualify. That's rho.co/juicyscoop. Go to rho.co/safety for boxed warnings and full safety information about GLP-1's medication. 15% weight loss is based on a study in non-diabetics with obesity or with overweight with a weight-related condition on 5 milligrams of medication when paired with diet and exercise. Half the list price when compared to auto-injector pens and when paying cash without applying insurance or savings cards. Okay, so speaking of which, we're talking about this. They're coming back. It's like had a break like all of us. Just in general, how are you feeling about the season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills right now?
I love it. It is truly the Dorit show. I have always been a Dorit stan. The first moment she appeared on the show, she let Lisa Rinna have it when she was like, "You're too close to me. If I can smell your breath, you're too close. Back up." I loved her then. I love the panty gate with her and Erica Jane. She made Erica Jane cry on the boat, and I'm a Erica Jane stan too. Then Dorit, unfortunately, read the comments on social media and became a recluse. She was so reserved and boring.
For like 2 seasons, 2 or 3
like
seasons.
maybe 3. Like it was to the point.
That's interesting. Yeah,
I was
maybe
like,
it
"Where's
was.
my firecracker?"
Yeah.
She's back, and I am the biggest Kyle Richards stan. She's my favorite housewife of all the franchises. So to see Dorit and her go at it, I love this season. I love Bose. I love the cast. I'm here just for Dorit, honestly.
I think that's so true because even with my own journey in this business, and especially in the last few years, I reacted to social media hate in a very more I don't know why that happened,
Mm-hmm.
And then when I had something be revealed and revealed again, and I felt vindicated, Heather 2025 is Dorit too. Like,
yes, bitch.
I'm like, no, you know what?
Yes,
no.
fuck you.
And I don't fucking care. And you don't want to be my friend. Like, you were never my friend. And like, fuck off. Like, it's very, very.
It's liberating.
And it's liberating. And also, as we all get older, but I think even women especially, as we get closer to, especially like your late 40s, which is what she's entering, even though she looks so young, you definitely get to a place of like, oh, I see it clearer.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's the best part about aging is like very much like, and being less sensitive.
Yes.
Knowing, and standing up for people, but also recognizing when they don't stand up for you and calling it out, this is the perfect job. Breaking up with PK. I think she's like handled it great. Let me ask you the question. What do you think about Kyle still texting with PK with memes and stuff while her best friend, even though they're on a great place, is getting a divorce?
Yeah, look, obviously, the rule of thumb is if we're friends and if I break up with my guy, you also broke up with their friendship. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, especially when it comes to girl, there is a girl code there. Mauricio and PK are truly friends. There's a bromance there. So I understand they're keeping their friendship. But when it comes to Kyle still being friends with PK, especially when her and Dorit are in the best place, I do understand why Dorit feels some kind of way. It is weird. And I think Kyle probably didn't think too much of it because they're not as close. And Kyle probably doesn't know a lot about the divorce. But I think when it comes to the relationship, there's a girl code. If I break up with my guy, you should too.
I remember very specifically when I had this presented to me. And it was when Lala Kent was with Randall Emmett.
Yeah.
And this stuff came out that he was, photos of him walking across the street with these 2 girls. And I really liked him. And I was like, this could just be some weird fan that caught a photo and like, da-da-da-da. And she was like, no, there's more to it and da-da-da. And he was like, and I didn't know what was going on. And I'm on the road. I was actually staying at Jill Zarin's house. And he's texting me and telling me things to try to get me to get to her. And I remember I like said to him, I go, okay, I said, I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, don't call me anymore. I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Like, I'm not going to give advice. I'm just literally not going to talk to you anymore. And then like a couple weeks later, I was talking to Lala and she's like, I hate to do this to you, but I have to ask you like not to communicate. I go, oh, I stopped that 3 weeks ago. I'm like, who's still talking? Like,
Yeah.
like that's it. I go,
Yeah.
listen, I go, and then there's been gay couples that have broken up. I always immediately, like, maybe I'll have one last text, like, wow, I hope you guys can work out.
That's it.
Once it's dead, I'm with the person I was friends with first.
Period.
Even sometimes I've liked the boyfriend more. Sometimes
There's moments where you're like, I really like them, but
for that time, and then if something, if something happens, then then you could go to the boyfriend that you're friends with. But like, you're loyal to that. And then as a heterosexual couple, when our heterosexual couple friends have broken up, my husband and I don't even have to ask him. We take the wife's side in all the cases. But most of the cases, it was just it was nothing a horrific breakup, not like someone did anything awful. Now, if the wife is screwing someone and is drug addict and being a bad mom, well, then of course
That's
I'm going to
one
take, But if it's just like a breakup, and I was closer to the girl, that's it.
Yeah.
We're taking the girl's side. My husband isn't going to be giving that guy any advice or whatever. Like, that's that. Like, we're done. It's over with. And so I thought that was pretty dumb of her not to at a certain point just be like, I love this, but like until you guys work out your shit, we probably shouldn't be talking. And that's that,
because
you know?
this is the thing, too. I don't think Kyle would appreciate Dorit texting Mauricio, especially when people have assumed that those two were having an affair.
Right.
And although I don't believe it for a second, it's
I
still the optics
really don't
of it.
now. I really think, you as a reality show producer and, once you like open your eyes to seeing the incredible, clever, funny editing that some of these shows do, that is just really sometimes just the best part of it, but you also see how they're like, how they catch some.
Yeah, there's the nuance.
They zoom in on something in the corner and
the look, the touch, all that.
And there was a moment in Aspen with Dorit sitting next to Mauricio, and I don't know if they were splitting a pasta, but there was a lot of jokes about, did you put a big sausage in my pasta or something? And it was, and also the thing I want to say is, over the holiday, I was like, I would go back and watch old episodes of New York and Beverly Hills. There's nothing better. And he was like not called Mo until like 5 years ago.
Well,
what is up with that?
Well, the other thing too was, okay, so remember when they were on the verge of divorcing, when she was befriending Morgan?
Wait. Oh, Morgan Wade. I'm going to make you love me. I didn't even know who this pretty lady was when she slipped into my DMs. I'd never even heard of Beverly Hills. TV,
Allegedly.
I don't own a TV. I just strum my guitar and go get tattoos.
It's the accuracy of the accent.
Yeah.
So remember when he kept calling her "love me," and I'm like,
yeah, that was felt new and put upon too.
Yeah, it was a little. So it was much, and I was like, I don't remember that a lot in the earlier seasons.
Right, and the only people I remember that suddenly seemed way more in love and a different couple is Heather Dubrow and Terry. Remember when all of a sudden she's suddenly just choosing to sit on his lap, like with the group when there's like a seat right next to him?
Yes.
After 28 years of marriage, you're like, let me just snuggle it. And I'm not saying they have an issue, but like, I get it. Like if I was on a reality show and I was reading stuff that there was rumors and stuff, I would be like, Peter, you are going to be like holding the door open for me and like grabbing my ass and like
I'm giving you a lap dance
and acting like we're way more fucking horny than we are because these mean bitches in the Midwest seem to think we have an issue. Like even though we're fine, no one's going anywhere.
Yes.
But like you're like,
Yes. So that's what that presented to me
a
lot.
There was a Friends episode where they were each with their significant others, and they were like, "We're the hotter couple."
Oh, yeah,
They were like, that's what I feel sometimes with these housewives. Like, no, we're the people that. Oh, let's talk about sex. I like it.
Yes, absolutely. No, I could not agree more. So listen. I think when it comes to the Dorit, Kyle, PK, Mauricio thing, there was a real friendship, but I also think the truest friendship obviously was between the guys.
Yeah, which I loved, and it's funny too because it's like that is so. And the thing is no matter what, women have different relationships in their friendships with other women that it cannot be ever put on the same description as guys, straight guys, gay guys, gay women. It's straight women, relationships, friendships, whether you're 12 or 52.
Yeah.
It hits us different and we treat it differently. It feels different. We are more emotionally, guys, the thing is like guys, if you've ever heard how horrible like guys talk to each other, like on a golf course, the cruel, disgusting, awful things they say to each other. They're friends 1 second later. Doesn't fucking matter. Like that wouldn't make a really great reality show because you need but if a woman says, you with your sheen dress. Oh,
girl,
we're done.
done.
We're done.
It's a grudge. That's being.
We are
yes.
done. That was mean.
Yeah.
Guys, it's like, hey, we're just busting balls. They really are just busting balls.
Absolutely.
And they really have a friendship and they want to stay friends and they don't want to make big deal out of things. And that is the beauty, honestly, of men in general. You know, just men in general and that's what, it's great that they really are friends and they can stay friends. And if their wives are fighting. And that's what also kind of makes, when the shows don't have any men in it, a little less interesting for the viewer as well.
I like seeing the men be friends. That's what makes Jersey so special.
That they have men. Like
well,
Jersey,
no, that's the thing.
That's when all of them are single.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then we have to do weird dating things. And some weird guy that, was on Love Connection 30 years ago is still in the casting director's Rolodex. And he's like, hello, Sutton. And you're like, oh, God. Like, I'd much rather see BK and Mauricio fucking laugh their asses off.
And throw back some shots.
Yeah.
No, but I got a question for you. I was told that allegedly Kyle never really saw Dorit as a real friend. That their friendship was developed because of Lisa Vanderpump being removed, when she left the show. Puppygate. And the fact that they both had each other's backs at the time. So it's sort of like friendship by default because let's not forget, Lisa Vanderpump brought on Dorit and PK because PK and Lisa Vanderpump were friends. And then when the whole Puppygate thing happened and Dorit and Lisa Vanderpump had that falling out, it was the default of Kyle and Dorit becoming friends. But Kyle wasn't really... They said that Kyle really never saw Dorit as a true friend. And that's the reason why when you saw the reasons that Kyle felt like Dorit wasn't her friend, like the jokes about... It all felt very small.
This is what I think. Yeah, she had fun with Dorit when she did. And I think that's the other thing with friendships. I think people are... Especially the audience, which is, my audience, your audience, and of course the Bravo audience of women, is they're so obsessed with a friendship and women friendship and who screwed over and why did they stop being friends. But if you want to divorce your husband of 25 years that was the father of your kids, they're like, good for you, girl, kick him to the curb. But they'll have such an opinion over you ending a 10-year friendship with with another female. Yeah. Who did who wrong and why. And I really think I think that Kyle liked Dorit, enjoyed Dorit, but for whatever reason, she saw it as a different level. I think that I came up with this just the other day. I think in certain friendships, I saw it as a real friendship, but I was really just a booty call without sex. And
with your female friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a booty call that took the call, did the thing that you needed when you needed it, and I had fun, and I thought it was a bigger thing. I thought when I needed you, you'd have my back. I was a booty call, and I enjoyed it. I liked being fucked. We had a good time. It was a good time. I didn't hear from you in a while, and that was fine. And then you called me up, and I was like, let's go. But then when I thought it was a bigger deal, and I was like, no, I should have known you were a booty call friend. I should have known it was that, but I didn't. Good. And I think it's very hard for people as women to kind of go, well, wait, da-da-da-da. And everyone can have an argument. Everyone can have a different perspective. And then they're colleagues too. It's a show. It's business. And I've also had people say that I've been friends with in business, then say, look, I don't see her that much. We're not that good of friends. And I was like, oh, we only went on vacation once. And I was like, oh, I thought we were better friends, and that's okay too. But it hurts. It doesn't mean that Dorit's not hurt by it. But it's not like Kyle did something cruel.
Correct.
She just feels a different way about Dorit.
It was a friendship of convenience.
When people would say, old school moms and grandmas would be like, find a man who loves you a little bit more than you love him.
Yes.
Yes. And I think sometimes that relates, and I think that applies to friendships sometimes. But it doesn't really work out. It's better if it's in the marriage and you have the upper hand. But as a friendship, it needs to be more equal. And sometimes it can go on for a really long time. And sometimes, Dorit was just blinded. That's why she's like, the blinders are off now, Kyle. I see you for what you are. Dorit,
is that you?
Yeah. And I get it. Like, I think I totally relate. I did see this one guy do something and someone then shared it. And again, forgive me because, we watch all these things and I want to give people credit. But he kind of was like dissing Garcelle a little bit. He feels like Garcelle is like, do you know that Kyle still texts PK?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's like, okay, like she just came off the set of Lifetime.
Yes.
And it was like a little bit like, okay,
Yes. It was definitely igniting the flame is all of this. So a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people, not sure.
And I don't understand why she hates Dorit so much.
Well,
I don't really get it. It feels a little...
are turning against Garcelle, and I've never seen anything like it because she was so beloved by the fans for her first couple of seasons. But this season, everybody, when I say like 99.9% of the audience is team Dorit, and what they're noticing is what you said as well, is they feel like Garcelle is coming for Dorit unprovoked, and they don't understand why that she's doing that.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? Is it?
I just think that she just doesn't like her. And I've had people like that with me. And you know what? You're not going to turn them. And some of it is Dorit's kind of like lightness. And I do think she's a pretty positive person. Like, I don't know. There's something about certain personalities where someone's like, oh, that little twat. And they're just not going to get past, they're just not going to see the good. And Dorit's never going to win her over. She's never going to enjoy a conversation with her.
Yeah.
There's nothing she can do. I don't think it has to do with any kind of misunderstood, possibly, racist comment. I think Garcelle knows she is not like that. Is she privileged? Is she a little in her bubble? Sure. So I don't think I think that was ignited because she had to have something. But the truth is she just doesn't dig her, and she's pretty happy that Kyle's not digging her either.
Yeah. And what I will say this, all of them are surprised that Dorit is the fan favorite this season. I think they all probably bet on the fact that let's get on Dorit because she's so disliked by the audience. Because think about it, they're all coming for her except Bose and Erica Jane. And I think Erica Jane is sort of like in the middle, unfortunately, because she's sort of like, I like Kyle and I like Dorit. I respect Kyle because she's the queen bee of the show. But the fact that you got Sutton, Garcelle, and Kyle, they're all coming for Dorit. Even fucking Camille Grammer.
Yeah.
And Heather McDonald, Dorit is winning every battle and doing it so smoothly. I'm obsessed with her.
I know. When she was like to Camille, she's like, please.
I called you a fucking cunt, actually.
Yeah. It was like that moment when Stassi Schrader goes, I don't know why you're here, but I'll have a Pinot Grigio. Like, there's just some really good moments like, bitch, we know what you're doing. And I like Camille too.
Love Camille.
But it felt like, again.
Come on.
Like, because she's like, I've been invited to 4 parties, 1 each year, and I still have not gotten asked back. So I got to make some shit happen with my assistant friend here, okay? I didn't get this denim outfit for nothing. Like, she was just like, I got to make some shit happen. Am I right?
I didn't get the ink spread on like Denise Richards. So, like, to your point, I need the moment.
Like,
and Dorit knew.
And Dorit called it out, and she's like, shut up. Like, I don't need this shit. Anyway, it's all
Love
good.
it.
Okay, well, you talked a little bit about Real Housewives of New York, the reboot,
Yes,
the
I
store, and I agree. And I literally do put it on.
As background noise or white noise? Okay.
When I have to tell myself, stop watching TikTok, God and the government, I guess, is going to make that happen for me on January 19th. But I literally, it's almost like that's a drug, and I have to turn it off to go watch TV. So then if I'm like, now I really need to fall asleep because it's 10:45, I will literally go put on New York.
Really?
And I fall asleep every time.
Yes.
So I don't even want to bother. I don't have much time left. I don't even want to bother covering it because I don't really feel anyone's watching or nobody cares.
I haven't seen this since the first episode.
But this was really interesting. So this girl was one of the original girls in the reboot. And she is Jewish, and she is very vocal about Israel and her faith. And I guess she also matchmakes within the Jewish community. And I had heard this because she was on it. And remember how the first season was like, this seems so weird. It's like disconjointed. It's because they had to cut every scene out with her in it. And what happened was, according to her, she's finally like talking about it, but I had heard the story, is Brynn was like, set me up, you know? And I have a friend who was Christian and she would only go on J-Date because she was like, I think the guys are more successful. But she was like, well, it's really about like finding Jewish people for Jewish people or something. And in saying it, I think Brynn, always trying to be funny, but like not, you know, she's like not that funny, Brynn, you know, like she was like, and she's like, why? And she goes, well, you know, the religion of the child in the Jewish religion is based on the mother. So if the mother is Jewish and she marries a Christian guy, the kid in the eyes of the world is still Jewish.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So she's like, I can't really, in her business or whatever, if she's got Jewish guys, she wants to set them up with Jewish women, is, you know, to get married, because it's like to get married. And Brynn threw the Nazi word around. She's like, well, then basically you're a Nazi.
That's what happened?
Yes. And so then she was like, whoa. And according to this interview that she did, and I did just see a clip, she and her husband, you know, like started to talk to them. And she's like, look, the whole reason I wanted to come on the show as like a very, you know, committed religious Jewish person was to show this side and this positive side. And I feel like if this is on the show at all, and this is before October 7th attacks, that this could be start some anti-Semitic, like I don't want any of this. And then in their investigation, whatever, they say some other things went on, but that's why it was mutually, we will leave, we don't want to be a part of it, and they cut it all out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I knew that story before, but people were being very quiet about it. Like there were not big blogs or anything. I knew about it from somebody on the inside.
Source.
And, you know, and it's such a touchy time and everything. But I follow her and she's, you know, really wonderful and brilliant about her faith and everything. And so.
So did she leave?
She left.
Okay, so she left on her own accord.
I believe she left on her own accord on top of everything else. But also, you know, they don't want to draw attention to this. I don't think she does. Brynn, nobody did. But at this point, she's now telling her story. And this is from her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's heavy.
It was heavy, and I can get why it didn't work with the show. It's too fucking heavy, and I don't know, we'll never see the footage. I don't know if Brynn was being silly, funny. You know, comedians throw those words around, Hitler, da-da-da, all the time. You know, so I don't know if she thought it was going to land and it didn't, or if she was actually being, like, pissed about it, or if she was just really
like what the tone was.
Yeah, like was she being pissed because she was being ignorant, or, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was so...
Yeah, no, the thing with the New York reboot, I just feel like there's a lot of things off with it, right? I listen, they're beautiful women, they're accomplished women, they're stylish women. Like, on paper, it makes sense. But when you mix this bag of women together, they're not cohesive at all. And I think Brynn, because I watched the first season and I actually enjoyed it. I
like the first season better too.
Yeah, I thought it was like, oh, it's new, it's fresh, it's interesting. Aaron was my favorite. I love Sai. I really love all the girls, and I thought Brynn was funny. I think they all saw the first season and said, whoa. And instead...
So, whoa, what? Whoa, what?
The thing is this. These are accomplished women in business. And I think sometimes... Again, my example, I think when Sai saw that it was a big deal about her being hangry and being...
dumb stuff.
You know, like stupid stuff like that.
Oh, I see.
They feel like, oh, y'all made it that big of a deal and you become a little bit more cautious. I think when Aaron and Sai had that moment where Sai took off her... Not Sai. Uba. Took off Aaron's glasses and it became a thing about race and the angry black... I think all of that... made them way more cautious. And let's not talk about Jenna Lyons' lover not being on the show, but her lover's mom. It's all just... it's all
Wait, that's not even her own mom?
No. That's what I'm saying to you. It's sort of like,
Okay, I have a controversial question for you as a real
Lord, here we go.
housewife producer, and you have all your other shows that you've created with families.
Yes.
I think I said this on my Patreon. I'm going to say it. As someone who's watching, I am actually not into really watching a lot of kid scenes, and this is no disrespect, or elderly parent scenes.
Okay.
I'm just not.
Is that controversial?
I don't know. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't want to be disrespectful to it's one thing if you really have like a fucking funny mother. And yes, Jill's my friend, but I really feel like scenes with Gloria.
Yeah.
She was such a character, and I've been in her presence, and I've literally peed in my pants. You think it's not a real person.
Yeah.
But like with some of the others, even rest her soul, Lisa Rinna's Lois, who was beautiful and fun.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, Lois, me, and I was kind of like, okay, like it's fine.
Yeah.
She's pleasant. She's a lovely woman.
Yeah,
She's lived an
yeah.
extraordinary life.
Yeah.
But like to me, as an audience member, and I feel like there's a lot of parent stuff happening in New York too that I am just doesn't hold my interest as someone sitting on my couch.
Well, and I also think too, we got to understand its predecessor. You didn't see Ramona's, you know what I mean? Like you didn't see these girls. And the beauty of Old New York was the fact that it was really about the women and their organic friendships.
Right.
And they all mesh well. So that when you had Dorinda talk about Sonya's Holland Tunnel vagina, you know,
You're the hostess with the mostest.
You can't make that shit up because it was strictly about that, and that's what we're missing in this reboot.
I don't know how you fix it. How do you fix it, producer Carlos King? How do you fix it?
You got to bring back the old girls. There's, in my opinion,
Bring it.
In my opinion, and you tell me if you disagree.
I don't disagree.
I just don't think this cast is fixable.
I don't either. And you know what? It's not their fault. There's nothing wrong with them individually. They're beautiful.
Zero wrong with them.
They live good lives. They're smart. They even have like a funny moment here or there. As a group, it's just not clicking. It's not fun. I mean, with sitcoms, you know, there's only so many lightnings in a bottle, and they have to have it all. Like everyone loves Raymond or Frasier. It has to be the best writers, the best producers. They're all friends. They all hang out together. Like when I guest starred on Frasier a long time ago, it was at this Warner Brothers. Was it Warner Brothers? No. Oh my God, I can't remember. Paramount. It was Paramount. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I did an episode there, and it was like a few seasons in, and it's a small room this size, and they're all sitting there. Okay. They're all hanging out talking about their weekends. And I'm like, don't they have like trailers or dressing rooms? This is rehearsal. They're hanging out. They're talking about going here and this boyfriend and da-da-da-da. And, oh, yeah, I wanted to get that number from you. And they're all just chatting. And they're letting me, the guest star of the week, just sit there and asking me questions. And you wonder why, you know, like Frasier went on for 9 years. The same thing with Friends. They were really friends.
Yeah.
And then they also had the great writers and everything like that. And I think the same is with reality shows. Like, you know, you can't, it's just sometimes it totally clicks and has longevity, and other times it's just, and it's like no individual person's fault. It's not the producers. It's not.
Yeah. And the thing is that it's a chemistry test.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm talking to you because you get this. Even when you get cast to do a scripted show, there's a table read.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories about actors getting fired after the table read because it's like the chemistry isn't there after you guys read the script as a cohesive unit. And I think the mistake with the New York too is the fact that none of them were organic friends at all. At all.
Yeah.
And when you come after a monstrous, successful, chemistry cast like New York, it was tough to follow that up with this group of women. And I agree with you. As individual women, nothing's wrong with them. They're accomplished. And I would even say on paper, I understand why they were cast.
Yeah.
I think these women don't have the history to make a funny joke with each other, and they know it's not like problematic.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, speaking of that, like a great real story is Lisa Kudrow got cast as Roz in Frasier and did get fired after the table read. And it was so devastating because they knew this show was going to go. It's Kelsey Grammer from Cheers.
Yeah.
It had the dream team writing everything. and she was devastated, and she was dating Conan O'Brien, and then he got his TV show, and so now she has no boyfriend, no job. And then they're like, well, there's this other show later on, the next year, I think, Friends. And she was my teacher at Groundlings, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to, retire my spot from the Groundlings. And she goes, because I got this pilot, and I'd known how hard this town is. And I go, oh, what's the pilot? And she goes, it's like about 6 friends living in New York. And I'm like, good luck with that.
You say you want to quit this teaching gig?
Yeah, it does pay $100 for everything. Yeah, you might want
no
it.
benefits? You sure about that, girl?
And I said that, and she goes, well, I feel pretty good. It's following Seinfeld. And I was like, I hope so, Lisa. But otherwise, I really like the way you teach me improv.
Not the improv. But it goes to show you that, listen, I don't even think extracting for and keeping, I just think, I think at the end of the day, this is what I would do. I would just say, look, we tried and it's fine. We're bringing back the old girls.
And then does Andy just like turn to the camera on Watch What Happens Live and be like, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Like someone just writes like, we made a mistake. I don't know. I wonder if you could get them all back. I mean, the dream team.
You can.
Okay.
Girl.
Because I do want Bethany back.
I think she's
and
the only
Jill
one.
Back, so they're cool. Of course, we want Luann, Sonia, and Dorit and Dorinda.
They all will come back except Bethany, and I think that's okay. And my thing is this: I don't mind 2 new girls.
Yeah,
that know them.
So you need Luann, Sonia, Dorinda.
Mm-hmm.
I want Jill.
Yeah, of course.
And who else do we have? Anybody else? The Kelly Bessimone.
Ramona.
Kelly Bessimone is just as weird as she was at Scary Island. Whenever I see her, she's always just like, I have to work on my. She's always like, her. I was like, her. Like I don't know. She's still gorgeous. So she is fun to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know who else you could get, but she could
Alex
be fun.
McClure, I think, come from Australia.
Yeah, her kids are grown. She's probably done being a therapist. She's probably like, bring me back to my weird Brooklyn apartment. Like, yeah, let's do it. I'd love it. She was the old ones are just magical. Okay, so now I want to just, we have so much to talk about, but but I want to just jump to real quick because you had an interesting interview recently with OC. Alexis Bellino. I saw that she went on your show, and tell me your thoughts.
No, I was on. So Alexis Bellino has a new podcast.
Oh, she has her own podcast
called Going Rogue.
Okay,
and I was her first guest.
Oh, so you were her guest?
Yes.
I thought she was on yours.
No, I was her guest.
Oh,
are you still gonna read me?
Has it aired already?
So it aired a few weeks ago. It's funny. I put it out today on my podcast.
Oh, okay.
So that people can really,
Yeah, you're doing the Christian thing.
Yeah.
It's your Christian service for the week.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And I tied.
Tagging is mine.
Yes, there you go. There you go. So on Reality with the King, listen to me, Alexis Bellino, please. So she revealed to me that she received the phone call and she was not asked back to OC, and she was not happy about it.
Yeah.
Not really surprised, but also not happy about it because obviously she wanted an opportunity to redeem herself.
I spent a long time talking to her.
At Kathy Hilton's event?
No, and on the phone.
Oh, do tell.
I did my Christian service as a Real Housewife consultant.
Okay.
I talked to Alexis Bellino, and I was trying to give her advice of what to say to producers because this is before they had made the decision.
Okay.
And, I talked about it on the show, so I don't want to repeat myself of like what, but, there was times where she was just so hurt. And I was like, well, you have to go back on the show because now you have nothing to lose. Yes, you have all these people who hate you. They're not going to hate you more next season. And some may see another side of you. And, I also feel the audience, it's like, who do you think a 50-plus audience that half of them are divorced are going to side with in this scenario. Tragic Shannon Bedore, who's, divorced and cheating husband and fluctuating weight and all this other, like, they love that. And showing her shirt and her body, and like she's never had kept a secret in her life, and it's like that is, we relate. And I think Tamara and her and everybody just thought, well, of course they're going to turn on her. She got in this DUI accident, and things would be very different if someone was actually hurt. People don't care that she, parked the car and pretended to walk down the street with Archie in a bloody face and get out of it. They don't care. They don't care because, and isn't it interesting that that's the only mugshot we don't have of all the housewives?
Right. Good point. I didn't think about that.
Well, when you get good attorney, Sheriff of OC, I don't know. Maybe they went to the boat parade together. I don't know. I don't care. We don't need to see it. Good attorney is a good attorney.
Yes.
But, that was all there. And I think they kind of thought, okay. And then from what they took and everything, it just really made, and I don't think the producers even in editing it set out for the reaction to be this. I think they thought they would be a little more mixed. Not pro Alexis, but, again, Shannon. Yeah. But no, it's just like the Dorit thing. Like, they was just like, no, like we feel this way probably because I think a lot of producers are not women in this field or executives, and they can't predict how a 40, 50-year-old woman is going to see as the relatable hero or the underdog. Mm-hmm. And they sometimes shoot the wrong thing, and it's like, or they guess the wrong thing. So I thought it was a long shot that she'd be asked back, but I was like, I hope if you come back, like, and you get married, and, I'm like, Tamara can be, a 58-year-old bridesmaid, and like, let's make it happen. Heather Dubrow can sing at the wedding again. Heather Dubrow sang at Tamara's wedding.
She did?
I went to Tamara's wedding.
What did she sing?
Sang some song. I don't know if they shared that much of it in the show, but there was at one time Tamara said that she was, figuring out who was going to ask them to get married. And she said, now this is what Tamara told me. So she could have been joking or whatever, but what my elephant memory told me. So she goes, and so then I thought, well, maybe, you can marry anybody. It takes 10 minutes to get your license. Mm-hmm. So she goes, so then I was like, oh, I said to Heather, you're going to sing. Why don't I have Terry marry us? And according to my memory, Heather Dubrow said, absolutely not. This is my day. I'm singing. And Tamara's like, well, I thought it was my day. But you're right. It's my third wedding. Who am I to steal the show?
That's believable.
But anyway, I could have seen that happening. And my prediction is Alexis will never hear from Tamara again until she comes back on the show. And that's that. And these women, I don't know. They make great TV. I don't believe any of them are real friends. I don't think Shannon's going to be, now that, the Dos Amigos, we are going to shake our hips and wear Spanx. We're the Dos Amigos. I don't think Shannon's going to have time to hang out with the other Dos Amigo.
No, listen, it's an alliance, and
alliance is perfectly it. It's Survivor. It's a housewife Survivor.
That's all it is, and I tell people that all the time. The thing with Alexis Bellino, she brought great entertainment to this past season. Her not coming back was not a shock to me, and I said that to her. And she asked me, "What did I do wrong, Carlos?" And I said, you spent the entire time defending John instead of us getting to know you. And even when the girls would break up John, what you should have said was, guys, he's not here to defend himself. Let's talk about something else. I said you were incessant in your defense, and I get it. But in hindsight, you should have just nipped in the bud. And she said, wow.
Well, she also brought up a good point. She's like, some people, when they are a friend, the one time Luann was demoted to a friend, she, made out like a bandit. She had the most interesting storyline. They paid her more than she made because she got paid by the scene. And then she was back holding an apple. But for others, if they're presented, like when the rumor is that Heather was presented as a friend one season to be demoted. That's the rumor, alleged. And she was like, no, fuck off. Which at the time I thought was a mistake, but now I don't because she's, on top of the world again and who cares. But I think with Alexis, she said, I would never be a friend again because I don't have the ability to like go to everything. Like they can easily cut her out of the London trip and things like that. And then it's like, wow. And then also being cut out of the London trip. Well, now those are all the days I'm not getting paid.
Yeah.
And shit, and I don't know what's going on, and they're talking about me, and like,
you don't get to see your personal life at home with the kids, and I do think that was a deficit to her. We never really saw the love between her and John, because they were always in defense mode. We didn't see her being a mom. We didn't see her and Heather bond over their kids.
We didn't see her and John actually like be funny or anything.
Yeah, no, it was always in defense mode. So I did tell her too, like being a friend that was a deficit.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her because social media gave her a hard time.
I know, and I'm just like, though, they're watching. That's what I said. I go, but they're watching. You know how many shows nobody's watching?
Yeah.
But it is really hard, and it's very hard to. It is like a drug for you to not look at it. It's so hard not to go.
Even turning off the comments, it's like you're still aware a little bit.
And then you're alone in your room, and you're like, I'm going to go to that site. And you like really shouldn't, but it's like, it's literally like someone related it to cutting, and I've never been a cutter, but I kind of see it like, it's like something where you're like, you're reading these horrible things, but you cannot stop reading it. And it's just, and it gets into you, and it's like, it's a whole thing. But, and I felt bad for her for that, but it was just so juicy with, and then like her ex-husband, like it's amazing. I love OC. I'll never stop watching OC till the day I die.
Best season so far.
My favorite part of OC, and no other show has it, is the sad music at the final scene of the final episode of every scene. That music, who came up with it? How much does that person get?
Things, that's it.
That's my favorite. Every time I just like my whole body like I want that played at my funeral. I want that OC where they do the thing and it's like,
yes,
Lynn Curtin is still selling her cuffs and like whatever it is. I just am like, I love it so much.
Lynn Curtin, a throwback. Yes. I love Lynn.
Okay, we have one. Let me see. One more thing to talk about. Let's just talk. How you feeling about Salt Lake?
Oh, honey bunny pudding pie. Amazing. Fantastic.
Fun. Juicy.
You know what I said recently in my podcast? It has taken the place of Old New York, Old RHONY, where it was a comedy show.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City is an underrated comedy. They're funny.
And the editors are funny.
Yes.
And it doesn't feel like they planned it, like they wrote it out before.
No.
Because, we know housewives that have, hired a comedy writer on the side. You know it. I know it. And it's just like, no, like there really are in, like, those moments. Like when Angie K is like, you have high body count hair. Like, she just said it like that. And it's just like, I think it just really came and popped into her head at the time. And it's just like, it was just amazing. And even I don't want to see that weirdo go anymore. The Britney. I don't want to see her go.
I love it. What about me? Love her.
And now she did a hard launch with the Osmond nephew. Keep that shit around.
I need her back next season, people.
And of course, nobody can get rid of Brownwyn.
No.
What is your prediction? What's going to happen with that lovely marriage?
Well, not to spoil anything, but I did hear that he shows up to the reunion.
Oh, that's great. In a blazer and a pair of shorts.
But we ran into her at Kathy Hilton's event.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I got a chance to talk to her.
Okay.
She's lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. But no, I think she'll come back.
Yeah,
Love her.
She's great, and she's kind of interesting how she's always like,
yeah.
She's like, well, I don't really understand, Lisa, because we were really good friends, and it was really upsetting. Why do I get in trouble? Why am I not allowed? And then Todd is like, Brownwyn, just stop talking. She's like, I have to talk like this. If they're talking to me like this, I have to give it back to them. You said I could do this show while you collected coffee cups. Now you're telling me I can't yell across the pool while the cameramen are sweating?
On a trip I paid for? Yes. She's an amazing addition. And I will admit when I'm wrong. I really thought that the show could not survive without Monica Garcia. And I was wrong.
Oh my God, I knew they would be fine.
I didn't think so.
I don't think she was like that big of a hit until the end.
Well, no, it was more so. I'm going to tell you what Monica brought to me at the time. It was personal story with her mom, right? And I love the fact that she made all the girls show up in a way that I never saw them show up.
I felt right from the start, and go back and, as if someone would do this, but someone you might be rude enough to do it. But I remember saying, I think her and her mom are acting. I think she's acting like a reality star. It felt very like when she'd like freak out and yell about things, like at whatever the Easter at Angie's house. I kind of was like, so when it all went down, yes, I was shocked with everybody else because I think it's really juicy when someone is like a troll and has anonymous accounts and stuff, especially now that we know more. But I was like, goodbye. Like I did think she was kind of full. I didn't think she was an authentic person from the moment I started watching her, which is hard to find someone really being authentic in 2025 when they've been watching reality show for 20 years.
It's true.
Half their life they've been watching, from the real world days to like, oh, I'll be the alcoholic bisexual. Like, how do I get on this show? And like, so then you finally get on the show, and and then the people that say, oh, I never watched or whatever. Now I feel like if you really did get cast. If my friend was getting cast, like, hey, I'm doing this. I have a friend in Chicago, and she's like, I know you're into this housewife shit, but they want me to do this. I would be like, don't watch. Now, if someone was going to be cast, I'd be like, get rid of your peacock. Don't even start.
Yes.
I will consult you. I will be the consultant. But don't see it in your, don't you watch it, because then you're going to start like throwing a leg across the table and doing stuff that doesn't seem authentic.
That's true, Heather.
And it's like, it's better that you, and I do, when I interviewed Erica Jane, she was not a watcher of it. She's like, I watch Law and Order. She did not really watch it. And she was, a very aloof and kind of strange those first couple of years, because I think that's what she was.
Yeah.
I think she was in this weird transactional marriage.
For sure.
With this asshole who she knew was probably cheating, but she was like, who cares? I can never divorce you because I don't have a prenup and I know you're going to fuck me hard. So go fuck your assistant so I don't have to. Let me have my gaze and my bedazzle and go have some fun in San Francisco. Here's your card. And she's like, see ya. And then this opportunity came up. She's like, fine, I'll do it. Maybe it'll lead to something else. And then it did.
Yeah.
And then it did. And now she's like the coolest fucking chick ever.
Love Erica Jane so much. So much. No, but that's true. That's true. And that's why she was so likable. And I think the problem is a lot of these women sign up to be a star. And that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. But authenticity is missing nowadays. And that's the reason why we look at Brownwyn. I believe everything she's selling me. I'm here for it. I love it.
No, she's being authentic and real and honest. Yeah, for sure.
This is by far.
How do you think the husband feels that she revealed that he cheated on her?
Listen. No powerful man wants his personal. We talked about this. No powerful man, billionaire or multimillionaire, wants his personal business out there because he has to be in a boardroom with some powerful people, and he doesn't want that to be a distraction.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was not happy about that. Hence him coming to the reunion.
Yeah. God, this was so fun. Carlos King, tell everybody where they can get more of your wisdom.
Thank you.
And your delight and fun and laugh. Where do the raindrops go?
Yes, the raindrops. I love you guys. So the raindrops, my podcast, Reality with the King, Tuesdays and Thursdays, wherever you get your podcasts, also on YouTube. And I have Love and Marriage Huntsville that airs every Saturday.
And that's your own show.
That's my own show on Oprah Winfrey's network.
Very nice.
Yes.
We didn't even get into Potomac, but Potomac is so shockingly sexual and like crazy.
Yes, Stacy and TJ, the Mia things. Yeah,
and then like with Ray and Karen.
Yeah,
the Madame, and I'm like, and we're supposed to believe that he's choking her. We're like, shut up! I can't. Thank you, everybody. Remember to go to heathermcdonald.net for my dates and everything, and Patreon and all the good stuff. Thank you. Bye.